Hey, this is Nick Nielsen, Mad Scientist of Muscle, and what I've got for you today here is a review of a unique piece of equipment called the RelaxUltima. Now, what this is a neck massager that you're basically going to stick right here on your neck, and it automatically massages your neck using electrical muscle stimulation, kind of like maybe you've seen those ab machines where they jolt you with current. This actually works on the neck and works specifically on the muscles on the back of the neck. Now I'm going to give you a close-up view of it here so you can see what this consists of. This is what the brand name is, and it's got two electrodes here that go right along the back of your neck where you carry most of your tension in the neck. Now this has a couple of really cool features on it. First, it does sit on the neck, so there's nothing you need to do with it here except turn it on. What they do recommend, before I get into it, is that you dab a little water on the back of your neck in order to get a better connection with the electrodes here. So, got my water bottle here. I'm just gonna, just like you're dabbing on, some cologne, which I never wear. But this is what you do. Gets a better connection on these electrodes. Sit that right on here. These things kind of clamp on. Not really tight. It's a really loose fitting kind of thing. It's not uncomfortable in any way, shape, or form, but you can see this is kind of where it sits. The electrodes are right along the muscles, right along the back here that run down the back of the neck. Now, comes with a remote control. It's got some really interesting features on it. I'll give you a close-up on it again. This button right here is for heat. So this massage unit actually heats up as well, and it heats up really quickly. Like when I turn this on, I notice within about 5 to 10 seconds, it's getting nice and warm on the back of my neck, which really feels good, especially if you've been typing on the computer for a long time. Your neck is getting stiff, maybe you fell asleep on the couch funny and your neck is all kinked up. This is a great way to address that. So you've got heat. This button right here is for different programs. So it actually has a variety of different programs that it can run through automatically. And I'll be honest with you, the first time you try this out, it's going to feel really, really strange. And the beauty of this is, these other two buttons right here allow you to adjust the intensity of that. So you can start with very low intensity until you kind of get used to it. And then once you kind of get a feel for how it's going to feel on you, then you can bump up the level of contraction that you're going to get from these electrodes. So I'm going to turn this on right here. There's a on button. You just hold that down for a few seconds until it beeps. And there it's beeped. Now, I'm going to turn the heat on. And literally instantly I can feel this starting to get warm. Now I'm going to turn program on here. And it starts on each program on the very lowest level. So you will need to actually hit there we go, it's immediately starting up. Now I know you're not going to be able to see this thing working on me right now, but I can feel it. Right now it's like a tap, 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 and it's going up in intensity and then coming back down and kind of going in waves right now. You can push this button, crank this up, make it even more intense. And it's almost like somebody tapping really, really quickly on the back here. Now, because it's electrical stimulation, it causes those muscles to contract. So as you're basically sitting with this thing on you, the muscles are contracting and kind of self-massaging, and it's a really, really different feeling if you've never tried something like this before. And one thing I did notice with some of the different programs is some of the stimulation things come very suddenly. So I was like typing on the computer and I was wearing this thing, and I would all of a sudden, like, my neck would kind of twitch, but not in a way that like is bad or anything, but it is kind of a different feeling. Like I've got this thing on right now and I can feel the intensity of it, and I really, really like this. I've tried it myself. My wife has used it. She really likes it as well. And I'm going to switch to a different program, and you just use, again, push this button. It resets back down to the lowest level. And crank it up. So this one is more of a tap, 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 tap. It's not going in waves. So there's different cycles and different programs that you can do with it. Now, this is one of those ones where I crank it up, and you can probably see the twitching right now. But once you start getting into the higher levels of intensity, you start, maybe I'll do a close-up here, maybe you can actually, this will give you a good demonstration of how powerful this thing actually is once you start getting into the higher levels of intensity. I literally can't stop myself from doing that. So start in the lower levels, bring it up in intensity, and basically what they want you to keep in mind is as you're doing this, about 10 to 15 minutes at the most on this, that'll give you enough time to really get some good relaxation going in the neck muscles. Now, in terms of I've discussed some of the positives, some of the negatives. Basically, the only real one that I found with this is it only targets the muscles on the back of the neck. These are not really for anything other than keeping this in position on your neck. They don't actually give any heat. They don't give any electrostimulation. So if you carry tension in through the sides, maybe you could potentially turn this thing sideways, but it's not going to be as comfortable. It's really designed just for the muscles on the back of the neck, which, maybe it's a good thing, maybe it's a bad thing. If you carry the tension in through the back, this is exactly what you're going to want. But I've tried it like this, sideways, and it does feel really weird. It's not as effective. You can see kind of as the current goes through, it's jumping my head to the side. So that's probably not going to help with your muscle tension. But in terms of how it works in the back of the neck, absolutely, it's phenomenal. I've used this quite a few times here in the past few weeks while I've been testing it out. I use it while I'm sitting at my computer if I'm there for a long stretch of time, or like I said, if I've fallen asleep funny, sitting on the couch and my neck's all cranked out. Really, really effective. Again, the brand name is RelaxUltima, and I've got a 10% off coupon here for you down in the comments below. So if you're interested in one of these, it's something I definitely do recommend. It's well built, well constructed. This is not a cheap piece of junk at all. I really, really like this thing. And for the specific purpose that it's intended for, I think it has a lot of potential. So again, RelaxUltima, give it a try. I think you're going to quite like it.